Alright, welcome to BeamNG.Drive, and I got myself my little 4-banger Econobox here, and I'm still trying to figure out why Beam suffers a lot on frame rate when I record, because it looks flawless on my screen, but I can see in OBS it looks like garbage. But anyway, I even set OBS to have a higher infinity than normal for my CPU usage, same with Beam, so I'm not struggling for CPU, but anyway. So we're driving a little Econobox, and it's a red light, so gotta wait. I think we'll go to the, there we go, go this way. And now we're gonna get going, yeah! Oh, brakes, 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 oops. Ran that red light, run! The cops are gonna get me! No! This is just amazingly stupid fun to drive. It's a motorcycle engine and a little car. These hills are kind of a problem when you're going really fast, though. I'm wondering when I'm going to settle out and, like, actually, there we go. Now we're going to downshift. Now we're in 5th gear, which means I'll make no power. Barely any power. Transmission's confused. Doesn't know what I want to do. I'm barely on the gas. So it's nice and quiet when you're driving at low speeds. Once you get on the gas, it becomes a screamer. This is an amazingly fun car to drive. At least in the city, and the speeds are not very high. Once it gets to top speed around over 100, it'll go like 150, but it's not recommended. Let's go down this bridge. This is a 1.1 liter inline 4-cylinder making 22 something pounds of boost. Provided you don't have to turn, it's not that bad. Yeah, it's so much fun to drive. Just 4th gear burnout. Yep, I had tire squeal at 4th gear. This thing weighs only like 1,500 pounds. I'll go switch lanes. Oh, forgot you gotta like press the button again or like do the turn in order to keep it from to cancel turn signals. Nobody can hear me over the sound of this engine screaming away, and oh, I didn't hit the wall. Yay. It gets really flighty when you start getting going really well. It's fun! It's probably really irritating to everyone around you too, but that's okay. Alright, perfect. I wanted to go down that street anyway. No, I didn't. So yeah, once you get really high RPMs, this thing wants to break traction everywhere and become an uncontrollable hot mess, but that's okay. Oh, hey, I just banged up my stuff there. Alright, we're here. So let's change out for a car that's a little better. Let's try the more sedate turbo 3-cylinder version of this car. This is out of automation. Let's try the turbo 3. And a slightly brighter shade of blue. Like sickening bright shade of blue. Like who would color their car that color? Like bleh. So let's tone that down somewhat to. There we go. That works. This is a lot quieter of a vehicle. Not quite as irritating. It only does like 8,400 RPM. It's still a stick shift. Not quite as fast. A little more mellow to drive. Because I don't have basically, I think I have sporting tires or medium grade tires on this thing, so it doesn't handle quite as well. It likes to skid. But it does have anti-lock brakes. Well, the other one did too. Teeny little 14-inch rims, because it's a small car, it doesn't need a whole lot. It's just fun, I just like it. Yay, third gear burnouts. This is a very lightweight car too, it's less than a ton. So you think, hey, it should get great gas mileage, right? Not necessarily. It might get good gas mileage. Actually, you know what, I might set this as my default. Bring up the thing. Alright, so I'm going to overwrite default. Boop. And then I can go to drive. And now I can go to the small pure grid. And this will allow me to do some efficiency testing with it. So what I'll do is I'll bring up a widget. We're going to add cruise control. We'll set it down over here. Does it want to work? There, 60 miles an hour. I'm in 5th gear at 4,000 RPM. So yeah, the gearing's kind of messed up, I guess. And we got to bring up another tool so we can see how much efficiency this is making. We're going to do the engine debug. This will show us how much mileage we're getting. So 36, it's kind of fluctuating a little bit. So with a 7-gallon, almost 8 gallons in the tank, I can go almost 300 miles right now. We can go further if we drop the speed a little bit. Yep, we can go, it's going to sip gas, so it's a nice little efficient car once you get going to speed. What if you're doing like, say 45 in a city or something? Yeah, see, look at that economy. Never mind, this is not a very practical car for people who have like large families and all that. It's not going to do a lot of good for you, but and we go, nail that gas. What do we get at full throttle? Better than some big trucks, still. Well, that's one thing we could do. Now, what if I brought up that other car, the turbo 4-cylinder? Which I've renamed these cars. This is the old naming convention I was using. So now this is known as a Turbo 1100. Lower efficiency because it's a bigger engine. It's like almost double the size, I think. And then we'll hit set once I get to 55. We'll see what we get now. So under 30. It's actually not bad. 38. So same size tank, and I'm getting about 300 miles off of 7.9 gallons, 8 gallons worth in the tank. And we're sipping fuel. So almost 40, between 35 and 40 or so. We'll go to... Whoa, hey, I'll make going up. Hurry up and downshift, darn it. So lower economy, raising up to 60, kind of brutalized economy. So what if we did 50, huh? Is this better? Infinity range. To infinity and beyond. Mid-40s. That's pretty good. But most people are going to want to hit the freeway and do about 60. They're going to go 65, let's be real. So you're going to want to go 65 and, you know, keep up with traffic, and people are still going to pass you on the left and the right because you're slow. And your economy takes a hit. But still, that's better than a lot of trucks. And even some cars, too. But yeah, it pays to go fast. So anyway, that's kind of that. Let's compare it to another little car that I did. It's easy to make big, giant boat cars in automation. It's not a challenge. So let's do the midget. This is a two-door hatchback with a smaller body shape, more aerodynamic. It almost looks like a Supra from the front, just a little bit. A little bit there. So we're going to get going here and see. I got safety features. It has stability control, anti-lock brakes, all that fun stuff. I forget what engine I threw in this one. Let's do 60, see what we get. So bigger gas tank. So now I'm getting almost 45 to 50 miles per gallon. Well, let's say 45. Very stinking efficient. So yeah, we're going a long time. So let's drop it to 55 and watch that climb. This is by accident I made this car this efficient. I didn't set out to make it this much of a fuel sipper. And it'll still get up and haul butt a little bit. Not as much as the little, you know, pizza delivery high-speed vehicle I made, but it'll haul. It's not totally ugly like the other car is. You see the teeny little engine in the engine bay there. It's teeny! And that little tiny turbo, it's so cute. So let's reset and go from let's turn off stability control and just go for, you know, how fast does it take me to go to 60? Oh wait, is there a quarter mile timer? I thought there was. I thought there was a tool that said quarter mile time. That I don't know. There might have been some sort of thing in here that did it. I'm not sure. There might have been a tool in here that did it. If not, I can probably just download one that does it. The G-force tool, force induction tool, damage app. I got a whole bunch of things in here that do stuff for you. Oh, clutch thermals? Oh, I didn't know they had a clutch thermal debug. Sweet. You can see when your clutch decides to goof up. Nice. Alright, so anyway, 3, 2, 1, go. Bit of chirp going into first and second, and ever so slightly second to third. Limited only 8.5 pounds of boost. It is a mere 3-cylinder. It's a Geo Metro in a nice fancy package. It costs like $25,000 and you have a Geo Metro engine in it. A turbocharged Geo Metro engine, but yeah, it's really does not have any business being so low powered. It really needs to be a bigger engine and then it'll be funner to drive, but gets great economy when you're not on the gas all the time. But this is probably about as fast as this car is going to get. Because the little engine's not going to make a bunch of power and it's having to overcome air resistance. Actually, you know what? I'm not even sure if this is rear-wheel drive or front-wheel drive. Let's find out. Neutral bombs. It's front-wheel drive. It almost kind of reminds me a bit of how the Saab Sonnet 3 looked, which also had a 3-cylinder 2-stroke engine. This is 4-stroke. I like how the front end kind of hops when you do that too. It's kind of funny. I think the chassis is a bit stiff up there, but that's okay. Back's a little flexible. You can see the back kind of raise up when you hit the brakes. Endless burnouts for days. Can we do burnout in second gear? No, it's going to bog down. It's going to stall out. Or just lose out and then a little lose traction and spin faster. Yeah, it's this little midget car. Seats 5, I think. That was a fun car to make. I'm actually like that one. I could make it look prettier, but whatever. And I tried making something that was more family-oriented, but hey, it's a two-door. I like two-door cars. Two-door cars are great until you get kids with car seats, and you got to put kids in the back and all that. But this is, I want to say this is a turbo. This is a 90-degree V6, kind of like a turbo Buick. It has 2 turbos, which look like they're. Is that the engine brace there? Oh, the engine's got a little frame around it from the chassis. It's got multi-link, looks like double wishbone front, and multi-link rear. So it's pretty, it handles well. But it's kind of crippled because it only has an automatic transmission in it. I'm thinking I might redesign this and put something more like a sequential, maybe, or just regular stick shift and have fun with it. This is a higher top speed than the other one because it just has more power. I gotta change the rims too. These are the default rims that come with the game, that come with automation. And if you don't change them, they just default to this boring look here. Let's turn off traction control, see what happens when I really get going. Let's turn off this and just neutral bomb it. That didn't do what I wanted to do. Come on, you can't do burnouts. Give me a break. I also want to say this is front wheel drive, but I could be wrong. It should be front wheel drive. Let me see, neutral. Yep, that's front wheel drive. Front, what? No, that doesn't make any sense. Did I really make this front wheel drive? That transmission looks funny. Also, the automation cars, when you import them into Beam, they don't look quite as realistic compared to, say, an Beam car. Like, I could pick just any old thing, really, if the game would let me. It's having trouble. So let's take a look at a Grand Marshal. These are basic. Let's look at an i6. Sure. Replace current. You'll see lots more detail. There. And the drive shaft actually rotates if you pay attention to it. And if you bang your transmission up in the drive tunnel too much and it breaks the drive shaft, you'll lose the ability to control the car because you won't have a drive shaft anymore. Drive shaft is broken. You're like, what? No, and that'll be it. So yeah, I'm having an absolute fun time getting into making a car. It doesn't look that good in Beam, but it's fun to make a car and then say, hey, how well does this stupid thing drive? Oh, let's look at the T4 turbo 4-cylinder. Not a very big turbo. As you can see there, it has a sporty intake. It limits you on when you have a turbo to have a small, like short log style type of exhaust, which you can kind of see there, I guess. Kind of hard to see. I didn't change the suspension setup at all, so that's kind of what I'm getting at. Lower top speed because hey, it's got less power behind it, but I kind of like it. It ended up not doing too bad in terms of demographics. I really cannot wait for the full career to come out, because then you can really start throwing cars at the market and having to build up your company, your mark, your brand for loyalty and all that. So that's coming later. It's not going to be here for a while in automation. I eagerly await having that feature. So anyway, thanks for watching my attempt at making cars go zoomy zoomy. And I'll catch you all later. Bye.